Stop panicking. That is going to be the topic of today's video. And in this video, we are going to be discussing 4 altcoins, and I'm going to be giving you my technical assessment in regards to where they are from a price chart point of view. This is a video not to miss, certainly for you people that are feeling uneasy with the current price action that we are seeing in the cryptocurrency space. The crypto markets are nothing short of a rough sea, but a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. And one reason that we champion technical analysis so much is because it gives us our opinion and bias on the market. And at times of volatility, we can take a zoomed out look at the charts and understand where we are, if there is a reason to panic or if there is not, in opposition with just following along to the news flows and just watching the daily market action and feeling uneasy whenever the market's red or happy whenever it's green. We try and kind of mitigate that and dumb that down and derive a technical assessment of the markets that gives us our bias and allows us to be confident or have a degree of a relaxed nature when it comes to volatility, such as what we're seeing today. Now, these 4 altcoins we have given price predictions for, so that's really the only reason I'm highlighting this for, but we could do this with many, and they're all really at this interesting place. All 4 of these altcoins are at the same place. They have essentially broken out of a stage 1 base into a stage 2. Now, we talk about stages. Many of you might not understand what stages of a market are. It's something that I teach. It's something that I father as a brilliant method for technically understanding the markets as an investor. I think it fits people that have a working job that perhaps aren't fortunate like myself to be able to look at the markets, or unfortunate, I guess, to be able to look at the markets all day long. But essentially, all 4 of these altcoins have broken out of a stage 1 base that they have technical patterns in, albeit a double bottom or an inverse head and shoulders, now into a stage 2. And they're actually all consolidating whilst this volatile pullback that may just seem strange to most is happening. Ready, in my opinion, to set up for further continuation. Stage 2 is an uptrend. These altcoins are in uptrends. We've had huge success with this method. I'll show you some examples of it. Also examples of other charts doing exactly what these are doing at a point of breakout. They're kind of consolidating around that break, ready for upside continuation. So without further ado, let's start with altcoin number 1. Now, altcoin number uno is Hedera Hashgraph. And you can see we have been in a clear downtrend. This was what we identify as a stage 1. We use the 30 weekly moving average to help us to essentially see what side of it the market's on, whether it's in an uptrend, whether it's going sideways, potentially in a stage 1 base, like what we can see down here, or whether it's now in a stage 2 on the right side of the EMA. Not only that, you do have a double bottom that's present here, and you do have a key level of resistance that you have now broken through. And not only that, you're supporting and consolidating just above it. So this, by all accounts, is a confirmed breakout on volume. And now in a stage 2 until we come and run this low here. This is now an uptrend after going sideways, and this is going to lead to further upside. We have a target for this of 27 cents. And right now, it's just consolidating in and around it, but respecting that support. You'll notice a common theme here with all these altcoins, all signaling upside. It's kind of one reason or one angle we look at to derive our overall bias on the markets. When everything's pointing in the same direction, you go with it. If they were all looking terrible, then we'd assess that, and there'd be a broader market reason, a macro reason behind it. But we even think the macro environment is correct for these altcoins to do what we're technically looking at. It's a real complete picture that we can derive from the charts. You know, we only assess the charts, but they tell and paint a story. At the end of the day, all the charts are a derivative of participants. So that's Hedera. If we look at ADA, very similar place, albeit perhaps not in a double bottom-esque fashion, but in a what we believe is now a head and shoulders that you have broken. The volume was significant on the break. It was certainly 2x the prior days. So we are assessing this as a breakout. And if you look at where it's consolidating and supporting, we're going to show you some examples of other charts that have gone on higher that have done this. It's very textbook. There's no doubt in my mind that both Hedera and Cardano are now in uptrends. Remember, this technical pattern has given us a target of $2.10. And what it does between now and then is really going to potentially set it up for continuation. So this is very compliant with a stage 1 base, now into a stage 2, and you have a technical pattern, just like with Hedera, kind of confirming and backing that all up. The next one is ICP. Now, this is the point that you broke out of your stage 1 on insane volume. Big players are now stepping back into the market after a period of basing. And this double bottom is going to take you to what could set up a broader neckline and technical pattern that could see you run significantly higher. But we have a technical target that we were given pre-break of $24.40. You can see again, break, consolidation, and is now drifting higher. This is in a stage 2. Also, there's a double bottom there that was backed up by a bullish divergence. I saw some unbelievably horrific takes on just wrong on what a bullish divergence is on Twitter. You see it all the time, but I guess everyone's just trying to make their way. There was a small continuation pattern in here. It's kind of failed. Now consolidating, this is going to resolve to the upside. So we've got Hedera, Cardano, and ICP all looking very similar, all pointing to the same thing, all in a stage 2 break. We're going to show examples of these to back this all up in just a second, and all kind of consolidating around the point of a key level. Also, we have Polkadot doing the exact same thing. So this is now also in a stage 2 on this break. All of these backed up by volume, by the way. Very important, because volume is giving you that conviction behind the move. It's telling you that someone is putting and betting on this. And it's no coincidence that they do it on the break of a key level, because they trade to the same methods that I do, you know, in regards to respecting key areas of significance and technical patterns. So similar pattern, we have a target for this of $26, and we'll see what it sets up from then onwards. And you can see it's consolidating. So what I want to highlight now is actually plenty of other examples. It's not just crypto that we relate stage analysis to. It's things like the stock market. One of the recent stage 2s that we were calling, or I was calling on my Patreon, was Robinhood. So we were calling this pre-break. You got the break on volume, but it's very common that you have a kind of period of consolidation. You know, you can see here, for example, this is Spotify, another stage 2 that we were calling pre-break. You can see the sort of consolidation you have around here whilst the market makes its mind up. But that breaking of the base that you formed with the taking of a key level of significance then sets a broader trend in place. It's a key event basically that takes place, and it should take place on volume, because then the bulls take charge. And when you're in these basing phases, all they are is an equilibrium of buyers and sellers, having gone from a previously seller zealous market. Some examples that we can try and show you is Samsara. This is one we were calling new all-time highs for. You can see when you break, you come and consolidate, but you start that broader uptrend. We have the likes of semiconductors is a good example. You can see on this key level break, you consolidate before then starting a broader uptrend. And this is the direction that these altcoins are now coming into, which is why we're here to tell you not to panic. You will only be panicked if you don't know your course, if you don't know where you are, because you don't have that map that you can derive from being a technical analyst with you. You're just kind of floating around in the wind like a paper bag. Whereas if you understand how to technically assess a market, you are going to be able to deal with the market volatility, which is hand in hand in the crypto space, better than most. And we're showing you lots of examples of kind of breaks and then periods of consolidation. You know, this is another one. Remember, you break this key level. Some people say TA is voodoo. Well, look at how you actually come back and retest and support it. And you can see another good example here. We'll show you some examples that have actually gone on and made their targets in the form of Microsoft, which you're all probably bored of me talking about. You can see very similar setup, stage 1 base into a stage 2 breakout on volume. You consolidate around there like where our altcoins are today, the 4 that we've shown you, before you then start a broader uptrend. And just like we were deriving a technical target for this down here, it got hit, it reacted with it, it sold off and then went on, saw continuation. This is what altcoins have ahead of them. And they're here. Certainly the 4 that we've identified. Also, if we take a look at something like the NASDAQ, very similar. This was another one that made our target. Look at where you sold off. If you don't believe in technical analysis, guys, it's because you are following the wrong individuals. And believe me, 95% of what is out there on YouTube and Twitter is the wrong individuals. You know, some of the takes that I see, you've just got to think, it's like Chinese whispers. You know, you have some great books behind me of old school technical analysts. It's like Chinese whispers. By the time it gets to like the YouTube and Twitter crowd, it's different from what the original thing was, and often doesn't make a lot of sense. But we can show you loads of examples. A more recent one that we were calling pre-break was Amazon. Look at what happens when you break, you consolidate, you come back to it before you then retest. And let's finish off by going back and taking a look at our altcoins again. We have Hedera, which has broken out, consolidating, but is now in a broader uptrend. We've got Cardano, broken out, consolidating, now in a broader uptrend. ICP, broken out, consolidated, now in a broader uptrend. And of course, Polkadot, broken out, consolidated, now in a broader uptrend, all with technical patterns backing up what we're saying from a stage analysis point of view. If you guys want to learn stage analysis, we have opened up a small number of members on the Patreon. Do consider becoming a patron. We already have a course out on that and are working on an entire academy, not based around stage analysis, but based around identifying the markets broadly. This was just a video perhaps to put people's minds at ease. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. With crypto, it's volatile. You need to get used to that. And I think there's unrealistic expectations that people bring with them when they get into the crypto space. They've got dreams of grandeur, and getting rich overnight typically doesn't happen. For example, personally, to give you a personal story, I did every mistake in the book in 2017, 2018. It felt awful having to ride my cryptos all the way up and then all the way down actually into losses. But it was the investing and the doubling down and the knowledge that I gained in 2018, 2019 that completely changed my life. From a small amount of money, by the way. It wasn't a great sum of money I was playing with. And I'm now at a level of financial freedom where I can sit in front of a camera all day long and not really have to worry about anything. And that opportunity is here again today. There's still, in my opinion, about 70% of this bull market, 80% perhaps to come. It's going to be the biggest bull market in history, given the fact that we are going to see more ETFs, in my opinion, and that real institutional flow. We're already seeing it for Bitcoin. Don't miss out on that. Don't get shaken out on a daily basis by following the news and just reacting to red in the markets. Some of these altcoins that we showed you are down 10% today. That is the nature of the beast that you are dealing with. You have to ride that. You have to learn to love that. And ultimately, understanding the charts from a technical point of view and having this kind of roadmap, this blueprint, and knowing at what point to panic and what point, okay, this is normal, like what we've just shown you, is key. And we want to offer that gift to each and every one of you out there that just follow the channel regularly. We'll try and teach as much of this stuff as we can, and that want to take that a step further and become a Patreon. Guys, that's all I've got for you in this video. It was just a video about not panicking and understanding where things are at technically and being okay with that and using that to kind of ground you in this market. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next.